to be educated, but I'm so frustrated.
The bad boy of entertainment is getting the key to the city from the bad boy of politics.
I want to thank y'all for this honor and just recognizing me being from New York, giving me the key to the city. Diddy finally has the key to the city.
Yeah, man. That's an incredible accomplishment, Puffy. I tell you what, though, you're going to need a different type of key. Now, you're going to need a key to the jail cell. Because if y'all haven't heard by now, Puffy Combs has been arrested. Man, I tell you what, and the state attorney ain't playing with it. He's going to show Puffy them freak parties that he's been having a little bit more than just fun.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice.
Let me jump in a minute there, Mr. Mindset. For those who might not know who P. Diddy is, let me break it down for you right quick. Born Sean Combs in 1969, he first made his mark as a music producer for Uptown Records before founding his own label, Bad Boy Records. They called him Puffy or Puff Daddy. In the early 90s, Diddy is credited with launching the careers of major artists like the Notorious B.I.G., Mace, and Mary J. Blige. He later became a successful rapper and businessman with ventures in fashion, liquor, and media. From No Way Out to I'll Be Missing You, Diddy's influence on hip-hop and pop culture is undeniable. But it hasn't all been music and business. Throughout his career, P. Diddy has been embroiled in a number of legal controversies, from nightclub shootings associated with names like Jennifer Lopez to assault charges. And now, in 2024, he's facing arguably one of his biggest legal battles yet.
Oh man, P. Diddy, the man, the myth, the legend, a guy who's gone from dancing in the shiny suits in the 90s to allegedly dancing around the law in 2024.
Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them.
We've all heard about his track record of questionable behavior, from the bar brawls to the lawsuits. Diddy's been like the Where's Waldo of celebrity misconduct, only a lot easier to spot. It's almost like his motto has been, if you're not getting in trouble, you ain't doing it right.
The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance. That the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses. Now, Combs did not do this all on his own. As I mentioned, Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way. That those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including drugs, baby oil, personal lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. They arranged for victims and commercial sex workers to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered large quantities of cash to Combs to pay for the commercial sex workers. The indictment also alleges that they helped Combs cover up his crimes.
As we're learning, the charges aren't small potatoes either. We're talking serious allegations here, and it looks like the state attorney is making sure Diddy's key collection is about to get a little more restrictive.
During the March 2016 incident at the LA hotel that I mentioned earlier, a member of the hotel security staff intervened, and Combs attempted to bribe the staff member with a stack of cash to make sure that what happened was kept quiet. And as the indictment alleges, in late 2023, after public allegations were made about Combs' crimes, he and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses and victims and giving them a false narrative of what they had experienced.
And here's where it gets infuriating. Time and time again, we see entertainers, people who have risen to absolute pinnacle of success, money, fame, influence, only to waste it all doing some of the dumbest, most avoidable thing. That's the key word, avoidable. Financial fraud, tax evasion, sex crime, you name it, they've done it. Instead of just using their wealth and status to build something better, they're squandering opportunities that most people couldn't even dream of having. Most people won't even get.
As part of this investigation, in March of this year, special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs' residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs' electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs, more than 1,000 bottles altogether. Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches.
I mean, it's almost like there's a guidebook out there for celebrities on how to self-destruct in the most epic, public, and embarrassing way possible. Step 1, get rich. Step 2, do something incredibly stupid. And 3, make the headlines. Yeah, but seriously, it's not just frustrating, it's disappointing. Entertainers like P. Diddy with decades of success and all the resources in the world should be examples of how to live responsibly, not examples of what not to do. Be honest with you, I used to have a whole lot of respect for Puffy, man. He was doing things, his nose was clean, you would hear stuff, but he would never have nothing that would stick on him. And then it's like over the last couple of years, man, he got kind of, slack, man. Getting caught up in some of the most ignorant bull junk that you could possibly get caught up in. And it's sad to see he got like that, man. He had everything, and yet he risked it all for what? Ego, power, greed?
Diddy was the kind of person where if you were in the music industry, you wanted to be around. If you were trying to make your mark as an A&R executive, if you were trying to make your mark in the marketing, if you were trying to make your mark in order to hang out with him, to go to his home in the white parties and the Hamptons, that's how much of a pull Diddy had. I cannot underscore how Diddy had this concept and this idea of the Midas touch. Being a part of the music industry, being around Diddy, being around those events, being at his home in the Hamptons, being at his home in Miami, I had firsthand accounts, not of these allegations. I didn't see any of that, but how desperate people were to be in his orbit. I can't underscore that enough. But you had those type of individuals wanting to be there, coming. You think about Diddy runs the city with marathons. This is a type of influence and pull that he had. And so when I think about the racketeering and the enterprise dynamic, it's just about people who wanted to be near him and who was willing to do anything for Diddy to give them affirmation and recognition.
I guess once you got the private jets, the mansions, and the millions in the bank, the next logical step is committing crimes. Because apparently, that's how you complete a success story these days. Let this be a lesson to all. Fame might open some doors, but I tell you what, they can get slammed in your face when you do the wrong thing. And you see that more and more every day. I just don't get it, Puffy. P. Diddy, whatever you being called today. They're going to come up with a new name. It's going to be something like, I guess they're going to be calling something like P. Booty. You know what I mean? I tell you what, I'm being stupid. But anyway, I just brought that to you. I had to give some commentary on my man P. Diddy get himself caught up on stuff like that. I guess he's going to get a chance to join his boy R. Kelly. So sad, man. I really like these guys' music to a certain extent, especially R. Kelly. But sometimes when you make those mistakes, man, you got to pay the price, man. I mean, give me that kind of money and that kind of fame, I tell you what, they be asking where I'm at every week because they'll never be able to find me unless they heard me on a record. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I hope you appreciate that. And I hope you check us out next time on the Music Mindset channel. I'm Mr. Mindset. Stay tuned, guys.